Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we put two issues on the table, both the grid reliability and the greenhouse gases and climate change, or all those combined, it's hard to extract good policy, public policy, and how we might be able to address that, because there are consequences involved with those decisions and how that works out. For me in West Virginia, it's different than it is in California or Texas or elsewhere, is we've seen the impact of the regulatory impact over the last 8 years. Example, in West Virginia, we used to have, just in 2008, we had the second lowest utility bills in the country for industrial consumption. Now we're 26th because our coal-fired power plants, many of them were shut down or they were required to upgrade their facilities to such a level. Now, in conjunction with that, at that same time, we had the 7th best rate of unemployment in the country. Now West Virginia is 49th. So there are consequences to these. We've got to understand when we debate these issues, we're all sensitive, but there are consequences with it. And I don't understand yet. I've not been able to find a good response back for the coal miners across this country, but particularly in West Virginia. What did they do to cause this? Why is it they're losing their jobs? Why are there bankruptcies involving them? We've got to be more sensitive to the individuals when we set policy here, that they're going to lose their jobs. So, Ms. Lindy, if I could ask you a question, if we leveled the playing field and got rid of these tax subsidies that sweep all across our utilities, could the traditional baseload power generators be better able to compete?
Thank you. The PSEG is not encouraging the extension of those credits, but I also want to be clear that the existence of those credits are not what's causing our nuclear plants to be at risk. It is an aggravating factor, perhaps, but certainly not the main driver. The main driver is that their fuel diversity and their environmental attributes, which some people also value, are not being valued right now in the marketplace.
So that's why I wanted to get to that point, because my next, because you mentioned that several times, your main driver. So my question to you would be, you talked about the main driver of the economic stress on base plants, and you mentioned nuclear in particular, because I think that is a solid a base load provider, as is coal. Is that the market fails to adequately value and compensate base load?
It does.
So shouldn't we do something about that? Shouldn't we, again, shouldn't the market value reliability and resiliency? But we're not.
We're not currently in the competitive marketplace, and it's not because there is an intention not to do it. It's just the market wasn't designed to do it, and we're pointing that out. And for policymakers to make decisions. We're pointing it out to you today, and we hope that the policy direction given to FERC is that fuel diversity and resiliency is important. And we hope that that direction will cause changes and fill that gap in the market. But we're also pointing it out to New Jersey, because states have an important role here. Some states like Illinois and New York have already taken action. They're not waiting. Because once these plants shut down, they're gone forever. They're closed permanently, and we don't think that's good public policy. So our ask is to recognize that these plants, without a change, either from the state or the federal government, or some change in the price of natural gas, which is certainly outside of all of our control, that without some change, these plants, we will see a shutdown, a continued and regular shutdown of these plants until it's too late, and we shouldn't let that happen without deciding that we want.
If I could, can we, rather than allow this to go back up to 30,000 feet, what are specifics? Can you provide me or this committee some specifics of how we might be able to address the reliability and value that in our cost base?
Absolutely, and we can do that separately outside of this committee, but FERC has been looking at this issue. The DOE, as was commented before, is working on a report. I think both of those places, FERC through their proceeding and the DOE through the report, those are vehicles to identify fuel diversity and resiliency as an important public policy, because it is a choice that's going to be made.
Thank you. I yield back my time.